So the hearing with Ripple and the SEC and Judge Netburn just concluded, and as you might expect, the judge pretty much sided with Ripple. But it was really interesting, so I'm going to review how it actually went down and what is actually going to happen next. And we'll talk a little bit about what the price speculation was doing and what it is possibly going to do next. Also looking a little bit more at Solana, since that is the crypto that is moving the biggest right now. It was actually up big, up to $130 before retracing down a little bit, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about why that might be. Hey everyone, my name is Randy and welcome back to the Late Night Grind. And on this channel, we are covering the Ripple versus the SEC case, along with other cryptocurrency news and investment markets, personal finance. So if any of those topics interest you and you want to follow along, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And also don't forget to hit that bell notification icon. That way YouTube will send you a notification when I release a new video, which I do when I get some new information. And in this case, there is always a ton of new information. I also believe that people in the crypto space are some of the most generous people on the planet. So if you are feeling generous today, and if you're an XRP holder, you should be feeling extra generous today. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm, along with watching this video all the way through. Those are honestly the two best things you can do when you want to support a YouTube channel. So if you do that, I greatly appreciate it. All right, guys, so let's jump into it. So first, I wanted to quickly talk about Solana, because earlier today it jumped up to $130, which means it did about a 6.5x in the last 5 weeks. That's extremely impressive. It did retrace a little bit, back down to about $1.07 before going back up to $1.10 before I made this video. And when I was scouring Twitter earlier today, I noticed something that I hadn't really noticed before. Because since Solana's price had been jumping up so high, I've seen a lot of people with a lot of interest saying that they're starting to put their money into two things, Solana and Cardano. And I noticed a lot of things coming out of the Ethereum community that I hadn't seen before. And that is a lot of memes that were basically downright bashing the NFT game of Solana. Now from my outside perspective, it just seems like the Twitter community might be feeling a little bit of heat, a little bit of competitive heat from Solana. But don't forget, there is somebody else that's going to jump into the NFT game that you're not thinking about, XRP. That's right, the XRP ledger is going to be jumping into the NFT game. I actually made a video of this quite a while back, but that could be huge for XRP and just add to its overall utility. Okay, so let's jump into this hearing that just happened between the SEC and Ripple, because it was really interesting. Honestly, it went pretty much how you would expect if you're an XRP holder and you've been following this case for quite some time. Now, the judge pretty much sided with Ripple, but here's kind of how it went. So Ripple's attorneys went first and laid out exactly why they feel that the SEC should turn over these documents that Judge Netburn ruled already twice on, that the SEC needs to turn over these documents. The SEC then came up and gave some reasons as to why they feel they don't need to turn over these documents, why the privilege status needs to remain intact. So basically it was the SEC saying, no, we don't want to turn over these documents because they're privileged. And then the judge said, well, why not? Then the SEC went on to spew some gibberish for a couple of minutes, and then Judge Netburn replied and said, no, I think you're a little bit confused. In fact, I think you're confused about objective and subjective. And the SEC said, huh? And then Ripple said, yeah, Judge, we agree. And then the judge said, yeah, I think you guys are going to have to turn over those documents. And then the SEC said, oh no, please no. So finally, Judge Netburn said, all right, listen, you don't have to turn them over to Ripple, but you do have to turn those documents over to me, and I'm going to review them in camera, which is actually a fairly common legal practice. So the SEC was like, well, see, here's the thing. We don't really want, I guess if you need it, we'll do that if that's what you want. And the judge said, yeah, that's what I want. And Ripple's like, yeah, that's what you want. And the SEC was like, all right, fine. So basically the details of this are that SEC has to turn over all of the documents that are in Appendix A, which is the first bit of documents that are in question that the SEC has the privilege status marked on. They have to turn them over to Judge Netburn. She's going to review them in camera as it is and move on from there. She also said she might request additional documents if she needs them. Now, she said they're allowed to be redacted, but she said to redact them as little as possible. And Ripple said, we agree with your assessment, Judge. You can go ahead and make the judgment. So the judge went ahead and made the judgment, and that is what is going to happen. Now, you might be asking, well, why is Ripple being so adamant about getting these documents? Well, I'm going to give you the reason. It's actually a person, and her name is Mary Jo White. Why is she so important? Well, because she was the chair of the SEC from 2013 to 2017, and she knows exactly what kinds of documents that they need to turn over. Mary Jo White, if you don't know by now, is one of Ripple's legal counsel. That's right, she used to work for the SEC, now she is defending Ripple. And by scouring the responses on Twitter after this hearing was adjourned, it was clear that XRP holders were wondering why XRP price was not at $30 yet, because it looks like the case is over, right? Well, not exactly. I still have a lot of details to go through. But I did see a few comments that made a lot of sense. They were largely speculative, but they basically just said, I think Judge Knepper, and according to what she was doing here, sounds like she kind of made up her mind already about this case, and she's just using this opportunity to collect more evidence to back up her judgment. That makes sense to me. That's also a very optimistic way of looking at it. But nonetheless, it was kind of fun to watch all these live tweeting going on. I tried to call in. It was full. I was not able to make it on. However, I did follow 2 or 3 people that were live tweeting it, and they did an amazing job, specifically Rob XRP, and you can find his post because I tweeted them out on my Twitter feed, which I'll link in the description down below. You can go and check out my Twitter feed. You can follow me there, as well as some of the retweets that I was doing during this hearing. The other fun part was seeing what XRP was doing before the hearing actually started. As you can see behind me, XRP was pre-gaming it before this hearing. During the hearing, it started to go down a little bit, and after it was adjourned and people most likely starting to read the Twitter comments about what happened, started going back up a little bit more. Really interesting to see. So currently it is at $1.18, and it is expected that within the next 24 hours, there should be some significant price movements. Of course, I've seen the same thing about Bitcoin, so we'll see what happens. But if you want to follow along with all of these stories, the price of XRP, price of Solana, as well as some of those other stories, you're going to want to make sure that you're subscribed to the Late Night Grind channel, because I cover these on pretty much a daily basis. Also, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and check out the community tab. I put out polls up there pretty much on a weekly basis. Love to see what your guys' thoughts are on not just the Ripple case, but also the cryptocurrency space in general. So go ahead and check that out. And if YouTube is showing you 2 videos right here, it means that YouTube thinks that these 2 videos would be right up your alley. So go ahead and click on them and watch those videos as well. Once again, thanks for watching all the way to the end, and don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys on the next video.